It is said that the human mind has a greater capacity for remembering the pleasant than the unpleasant.
For most of the 20th century, if you wanted to change the world, you had to get past him. This was the center, a hierarchy where elite institutions, newspapers, networks, publishers decided what mattered. But that solar system didn't just fade away, it exploded. In his book, The Digital Plenitude, media theorist J. David Boulter argues that we have moved from a culture of scarcity, where a few voices dominated, to a culture of plenitude. Boulter writes that the center has not held, there is no longer a single cultural authority, and while that sounds chaotic, for social justice movement, that chaos was the key to the lock, because in the plenitude, you don't need a press pass to start a revolution, you just need a signal.
To understand why this matters, we have to look at what Boulter calls culture with a capital C. For decades, media was a pyramid. At the top was high culture, serious art, serious news, serious people. This layer acted as a filter. If your struggle didn't make their definition of serious, it didn't make the cut. Boulter argues that the defining shift of our time is the collapse of this pyramid. We stop believing that the New York Times opinion page is inherently more valuable than a viral thread. This collapse birthed the plenitude. In the plenitude, the hierarchy is flattened. There's no velvet rope. This sounds abstract, but for social justice, it's concrete. In the old high culture model, a video of police misconduct was amateur footage. It wasn't news until a professional validated it. But in the plenitude, the raw file is the validation. The authority doesn't come from the source's status, it comes from the content's viral velocity. And once that content starts moving, it doesn't just spread, it mutates.
Boulter calls this remediation, the way new media refashions old media. The pamphlet became the thread, the soapbox became the live stream.
Zach Slarky, what's going on, boys? Early stream.
And the scale is staggering. Between 2013 and 2020, the Black Lives Matter movement was used over 30 million times on Twitter alone. This isn't just noise, it's a mechanism for bypassing the gatekeepers we talked about earlier. A USC study found that on Instagram, visual content, photos and videos mobilized coalitions in a way text never could. They found over 1 million posts using justice for George Floyd effectively reframed the narrative from a police report to a human rights crisis. In the old model, the news reported the protest after it happened. In the plenitude, the post is the protest. The media doesn't cover the event, the media is the event. But there's a trap. Boulter describes the digital experience as a flow, a continuous rhythmic stream of data. The danger is that social justice becomes just another piece of content in the flow. We scroll past a human rights violation with the same muscle memory we used to like a brunch photo. We saw this with Blackout Tuesday, a massive disruption of flow that paradoxically silenced vital information channels. Yet the friction does work. Pew Research found that 23% of adult social media users in the US changed their views on a political issue because of social media. It's not just Lackvidism when the plenitude focuses its attention. It creates a friction that the physical world, the real world cannot ignore. The era of the elite center is gone. We aren't going back to a world where 3 news anchors decide what is true. We live in the plenitude now. It is messy, it is loud, and it is full of disinformation. But for marginalized communities who were never allowed in the center to begin with, the noise of the plenitude is the sound of freedom. Social media didn't invent social justice, but it gave it a velocity that history has never seen before. In the old model, the news reported the protest after it happened. In the plenitude, the post is the protest. The media doesn't cover the event, the media is the event.